I'm on the 30th floor, so you are rich. Furthermore, in tower mansion, there are usually an emergency elevator, which is very expensive. Maybe you never use. Maybe you use only once a year, but it's for emergency use. So you have to maintain in a very good condition, right? Otherwise, when you have the worst case, if an emergency elevator doesn't work, there is no point to have such elevator. And in particular, those high-rise elevators for high rises are said to be very, very expensive. And for fifth, seventh floors elevators, it's about 5 million yen. But those high rises elevators could be as expensive as 40 million yen. It is expensive to replace, and there are machines you have to replace it in the long run. It can last, let's say, 20 years, but after 20 years you have to replace it, and then you bear the cost of the replacement. And there are some other problems too. If the property price varies according to the floors and the space you buy, right? And sometimes it in a range vary like from 40 million yen to 200 million yen disparity, right? Naturally, this kind of level of income difference causes some problems. And the income for each household could be cause of the problem. And when you have such a disparity in income, management of association could be very, very difficult to handle, because there are some very rich people owning the one unit, and average ordinary business salaryman is owning one unit, and maybe their concept of the money could be totally different. So it's difficult to manage such owners association. I'm hearing the price difference sometimes create the class among the residents, and even kids start the discrimination according to the price of the unit they live. Hey, which floor are you? If the kids say, I'm on the 40th floor, so, I'm on the 30th floor, so you are richer. You don't want to see this kind of situation, right? It's really terrible. These days, a lot of foreign buyers, especially tiny Chinese buyer, buying those high-rise towerman, and they don't really live there. They just for the investment, and they often rent out for the Airbnb. Sometimes it's illegal, but they just do it. If you buy those towerman, your next door could be the Airbnb unit apartment, and you don't want to let your kids play with somebody who you have never met. If it could be somebody from China, making such noise. No offense, but it's possible. If your neighbor is renting out or doing the Airbnb, those tourists can make very big noise. It's becoming serious social problems. There are some technical issues as well. For example, moving could be quite troublesome. Sometimes furniture and home appliances do not really fit in the elevator, because it's so high. Obviously, you cannot really lift it from outside. You have to use the elevator, right? And if your furniture do not fit in the elevator, you cannot bring your furniture, for example, table or a sofa into a room. Maybe you have to buy everything new, which could be very expensive again. I never lived in a tower, man, but I'm hearing the higher the floor of the tower unit are, the stronger the wind. Wind is very, very strong, and the sound of wind could be very noisy, I'm hearing. So when the window is open and the front door is open, the window blows through out your apartment unit suddenly, and the things in your rooms could fall down. Even if you have the big beautiful view I don't want to live in such place. And also, most Taiwan, please note, most Taiwan prohibit drying your laundry outside because it's dangerous. It can be blown away, and it could by mistake or by window, and it may harm the residents and the pedestrians on the street. So most of the Taiwan prohibit drying your laundry outside. And in the morning rush hour, elevators could be very, very crowded because everybody go out at the same time, and there are maybe only 4 elevators. Some town has 600 households, and elevator could be very busy. If you live in maybe on the 5th floor, maybe you can walk, but you don't want to walk down from the 30th floor every morning, right? So it could be the problems. And in summer, I'm hearing it becomes too hot. It becomes like a sauna. So you definitely need to put your aircon all the time in summer. I'm hearing from one of my friends who live in the Taiwan, it's just unbearable because it's too high, right? No shade. It's become too hot. However, obviously there are some advantages for Taiwan. For example, as I said earlier, view is always very nice because there is nothing in front of you, so you can see. Especially if you buy the Taiwan and by the ocean, you can see those nice, beautiful scenery from your room. There is no insect. It's too high for the insect to fly, so you don't have to worry about the flies and things like that. And the skies and the sunshines, obviously, very secured. And common facilities are usually very luxurious, expensive but luxurious. And the security system is very, very good usually. And generally speaking, Taiwan's are built very close to the nearest station, so proximity to the station is always secure. So there are some advantages, but risks as well. And as I said at the very beginning of this video, the management cost and repair funds could be very expensive. So before you buy Taiwan, please do check the financial status of the association. You have to check the book. Not many people are doing this, but you definitely have to check the financial status of the owners association. If it's a pre-owned Taiwan, if it's brand new, you don't have to worry about it, but you have to actually check what kind of price they are setting for management costs and repair funds. If it's too low, don't be happy. It's bad for you, in 10 years time. So you have to have the set the reasonable price for management costs and the repair funds to maintain your building. It is often seen in the management, the book of the management costs and the repair funds. And 30, 40 years old mansions, the residence becomes very old, right? They live in the 30, 40 years after they purchase at, let's say, 35 years old. Then if they continue to live there, those residents could be sometimes 75 or 80 years old, and maybe they could be on the pension, right? And if the repair cost becomes very expensive, and some unit owners cannot really pay such cost, association could get into the big problems. And if a majority of people cannot really pay such cost, this mansion will become very, very wrecked because nobody is managing, right? Nobody can pay such management costs, and the building deteriorates in the long run, and it becomes the very damaged goods. So you have to always have the mind of maintaining a good balance sheet and good profit and loss of the owners association. So again and again, I have to warn you, before you buy the mansion in Japan, including a Tawaman, check the status of the owners association financials. Okay, that's it for today. See you later. Bye.